Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to Unfair Advantage. My name is Wilson and thank you for being part of the training. So today we're going to learn the introduction to Fruit Loops. So we're going to learn some of the secrets, some of the secrets that producers use when composing music. So basically the lesson that we're going to learn today is we're going to learn, first of all, we're going to learn rhythm. And second of all, we're going to learn how to write simple chords. We're going to learn how to create melodies as well as how to add bass line to your beat. Alright, so what are our objectives? So our objectives are that by the end of this training, you should be able to set a tempo for your song. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to write simple chords. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to create your drum sets properly, like interesting drum sets. And then by the end of the lesson, you should be able to add your bass line. So these are some of the basic things that we expect you to know once the lesson finishes. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the lesson. So as you can see on my desktop, you cannot really see Fruit Loops. So it's installed. I actually just pinned it down here on my taskbar. So let's double click to open Fruit Loops. Okay, so it's opening. Alright, so once Fruit Loops opens, this is how the interface looks like. So when you look at the interface, it's got a variety of tools around here. But however, we're not going to discuss all these tools today. We're going to discuss only the most essential tools that we actually use when composing music. So the first thing that we're going to actually tackle is we're going to learn rhythm. So when we talk about rhythm, we're going to learn about the tempo. We're going to learn about how to create drum patterns or drum sets. Then we're going to learn how to create melodies. We're going to learn how to master the keyboard. So let us begin. But before I actually start showing you how to actually create the melodies, I want to mention that FL has got plugins actually that we use. So we've got external plugins that we use to compose music, and we also have internal plugins. So with this FL20, the beauty of FL20 is that it comes with a lot of interesting plugins that you can use actually to compose a song even when you don't have external plugins. But as you can see from our platform for softwares, when you check there, we actually uploaded a folder actually that is called Hypersonic. So that is one of the plugins for Fruit Loops that you can use, and it's one of the plugins that we're going to be using actually during this lesson. But I'm also going to show you that even the softwares within FL can actually perform a good task in terms of composing a song. So let's dive straight into that. So let me show you how you can create chords using the plugins that are in FL. So what you can do here is you come on your channel rack. So this is called a channel rack. When you come on your channel rack, you just left click here. So once you left click, these options are going to appear. Then you just come on insert. When you come on insert, you've got FL keys right there. So FL keys, this is actually your keyboard. When you click on it, it opens. This is actually your keyboard. So this one comes with FL20. That is the beauty of it. And it also comes with different variety of FL. So if you look at FL9, FL10, 11, all these softwares actually have interesting plugins that you can actually use to compose music without using external plugins. So this is an example of an internal plugin that you can use. So in order for you to play this, you can actually click on it. So let me just reduce my volume. So this here is a volume button. This is your master volume. Let me just reduce it because it was way too loud. So as you can hear right now, you can actually use this keyboard to actually create your chords. So the keyboard on your laptop actually acts as a keyboard for your plugin. So when you click on any of the letters here, you'll see that music will start playing. The keys will start playing. The notes. So what you can do is, first of all, once you open your plugin, the first thing that you have to think about is the tempo. So it's important that you create a tempo. Like, you need to know basically the speed at which your song is going to be running. So you need to set your tempo. So in our case, the tempo here, this is the tempo. It is at 130. So if you want to hear how the tempo is, you click on your metronome here. So once you click on the metronome, it will start snapping, and then you hear the speed at which your song is playing. So place this space button in order for you to play. So when you press it, you start playing. So this is the speed at which our song is actually running. So my idea is, I'm thinking about a song that is a little bit slower, not so fast. So I feel like 130 BPM is way too fast for the song that I have in my mind. So let us reduce it further to about 100. So you just left click on it on your keyboard, on your touchpad or mouse, to about 100. So as you can see, our tempo has actually reduced. So this is this rhythm actually. This is the speed at which we want our song to be playing. So once you establish that, and the beauty is that you've already inserted your plugin. So you want to start creating your melodies. So you just left click on your plugin, and then you go to your piano roll. When you click here, this is what will appear. So you have your piano roll, which shows the keyboard. So when this keyboard is very long, like you can go deep, you can go up. It's very interesting. So it starts from C1 up to C0 actually. It starts from C0 to actually C10. So all these are actually keys that you can find on a real keyboard when you're playing a real keyboard. And if you know how to play the real keyboard, you're actually on you have an advantage, because you already know how to do that. It's just a matter of practicing and learning the initial skills that can help you do a great job using this software. So let us start creating our chords. So in my head, I've got this interesting song that I am thinking about in my head. So the song goes like, it's a love song. So I'm just thinking of how do I create the chords. So it goes like this. I think about you, I think about us, baby. I think about you, I think about us, baby. Something like that. So now how do you come up with that chord? So you're thinking, you've been trying your keyboard, so it's got all the chords. So you need to know music theory. So but in this particular lesson, I'm not going to teach you music theory because it's a lot. So meaning in order for you to start playing, you need to have at least an idea of music theory. So without further ado, let's try our keys here. So these are the keys. So in terms of the song that we want to play, I think this chord here would actually be interesting. So when you press on the chords, you actually see them, like it'll be writing them there. So what you can do is you can just continuously press on them, and then you start adding your chords. You start writing your chords like that. So this is our first chord. So our first chord is here. So you play it so that you hear if it's matching with whatever is in your head. Okay, that's good. So this is your next chord. Your next chord. Okay, next chord. So that is making sense. Then our third chord. Let me see. Okay, our third chord, I think it should start from here, F. Okay, I'm going to add your F there. And there. Let me see. Okay, it's playing, it's off key. Let me hear it. Okay, let's see if it's making sense. Okay, there. Okay, I think this is making sense. Then we add our fourth chord so that we complete the chord because it has to rest. So let me see. I think for me, I'm thinking I'm going to add that. I'm going to add A sharp. That is A sharp. That is called A sharp. Then F. And we'll add D and A. And for the first one, D, A, F, and I will have D here. And for the next one, I'm just layering it up just to make sure that it's making sense. Okay, there. Okay, so there's a chord that is actually amiss among my chords. So the last part of my chords, they are not yet perfect. Okay, they're not yet perfect. So I have to remove some of the keys there just to make sure that it's balancing. Okay, I think now it sounds okay. So let's try to play the whole chord and just listen to it if it's making sense. There. Okay, so this is, you've actually created a chord now. It's actually, this is making sense. So let's go. Okay, so let's see if I can mumble on this one in terms of the idea song that I have. So let's see. I think about you, I think about us, baby. I think about you, I think about us, baby. I think about you, I think about us, baby. So that is basically the idea. So this is how you write your chords. So these chords are balancing, but looking at the way I'm singing my song, I feel like these should be doubled. So what you do is you have to highlight them so that you push them to the next side, so they should be longer, because I feel like they are very short. So you press Control and then you left click to highlight. You highlight everything. So in order for you to move these chords, you press shift and then you left click and just drag to the next bar, and then you have a full package of your chords. So when you play this, it's actually just the same thing. Okay, alright, so you have your chords. So now you can close your piano roll and go back here to your channel rack. So when you come back to your channel rack, the next thing that you're thinking about now that you have to do is about you're thinking about your melodies, like how do I make my melodies, how do I improve my song. So this is actually one way that you can actually create chords using internal plugins. But before I show you how to add melodies using internal plugins, I want to show you how you can actually also create melodies using external plugins. So as you can see here, the process is just the same, but what you need to do is you need to go to your plugin picker. So when you click here, it will show you. So these are some of the external softwares or plugins that were installed. So we have Hypersonic, we have Nexus, and Purity. So in our case, we are going to get Hypersonic, and then you just simply drag it and drop it on the channel rack, and then it will load on its own. So once it loads, there you have it. Once it loads, it's got all these different variety of sounds that you can use. So when you look at this one, Black Hole, when you place on your keyboard on your laptop, you hear how it plays. So this is how it plays. So wow, I like this sound. I think I might want to use it at some point. So what do? I have to duplicate this. So I have to keep this sound, meaning I have to duplicate this one. So you just left click and then you come here on clone to make sure that you duplicate this plugin. You click there. And always make sure that you close your plugin picker so that you have enough working space on your desktop. So you just click on it and then it will go. You have enough space now to work with. So since we cloned this one, we have Hypersonic number 2, meaning we have 2. So this is the one that we're going to use now to write our chords. So you go inside and you start checking. So here you start checking the kind of chords that you want to use. So for me, I want to use acoustic pianos because the idea is to have a piano in my song. So you just press one of the pianos that you have there. So let me see what this natural grand piano plays like. So you just place on it, you hear what it sounds like. Okay, I think this is okay for me, so we're going to use this one. So since you've already written your chords, when you open on piano roll, you're going to see these items. So these are called ghost channels. However, you have to set these in order for you to be able to see them. So this is actually another lesson. So I'll show you in the next lesson how you actually activate your ghost channels. So these ghost channels actually helps you to develop your melodies, to also just add anything so that you don't go out of key. So since we already have this, it will be easier for us to actually duplicate what we created already. So you just place everything right there. So always make sure it's aligned. Make sure it's aligned, because the moment you misalign it, it means it won't play correctly. So I'm just going to add the first layer, and then the second thing, I'm just going to highlight this and drag it to the next. That's it. And then when you play this, so in order for us to play only Hypersonic, so we're going to turn this one off. We just press there to turn it off, and then you play only hypersonic. So there you go. So I actually like hypersonic sounds. They sound really nice, other than the internal plugin FL keys. Let's play so that we hear the difference. So actually, I think they're both okay. When you look at when you just listen to the sound, I feel like they're both actually okay. So you have created your chords. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to create melodies. So how do you create melodies? It's very simple. So for melodies, what you do is, so for the sake of avoiding these to collide, actually these two plugins can actually play at the same time and they'll actually sound okay. Actually sound okay. So if you want, you can play them both, or if you want, you can turn one off so that you have only one sound. But since they are all FL keys, they are all keyboards, they're all pianos, I feel like I can still play both of them. So now I want to add my melodies. So I'll open this one, remember, FL, hypersonic. So we have this, what we call black hole, and this is how the sound sounds like. This is our sound. So you open it in your piano room. So once you open it, you're actually lucky, you've got something to guide you. So I'm going to start adding my melody. So the secret here is that what you have to do is that make sure that your chords are playing in the background so that it's easier for you to create melodies. That is way too long, so you want to make half of that. So you just cut it in half. You hear how this sound will come out. So once you create this first part, the next thing is just drag it, copy and paste it there. So that's how that sounds like. Okay, so that's what that sounds like. However, this is not really, I wouldn't say it's a melody, but it's just something that is like, you know, you're just adding a flavor. So the next thing is you want to add melodies. So for melodies, what we're going to do is we will duplicate FL keys so that we have another layer of FL keys. So make sure you turn it on. Then you can turn off this thing and just have one of your chords play. Okay, great. So you open it in piano roll. So what I'm thinking in my mind is a melody, like, okay, it's something that will drive the song also. So melodies, I just want something that can actually drive the song. Okay, so that sounds okay to me. So what you can do is you just copy this. If you like it, you copy it, but the idea is I feel like it should change this side. So you just drag it and paste it that side, and then you keep on listening. If there's something that you need to change, you can always hear it, like, you just feel the sounds. Yeah. So here, I feel like when it reaches here, it shouldn't sound the same all everywhere, so it has to change. Okay, it has to change. So we are going to delete this and then try to change it from there. Okay. Okay, so what you can do is you want to lift that one, so you can just press Ctrl and then use the arrow up if you want it to go up or down. So okay, so that sounds better for me. Again, you just highlight it and then you drag it up. Okay, all right, so I think that sounds okay. So, and the other thing that I nearly forgot to mention is that always make sure that you save. So that is some of the most important thing that you do actually when you just start creating your project. Make sure you save it. So I'm going to save this one, think, since my idea of the chorus is about thinking and everything. So I'm going to save it, think. So make sure that you save often. So whatever change that you make sure that you save, because if your laptop goes off and you haven't saved, it means work done is equal to 0. So always save your work. Okay, there you go. We've saved. So let us play our melody. We hear if it's making sense. Okay, I feel like something can be added here. Let's just try that note and hear how that sounds. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, there somewhere about. Let's go. Okay. Okay, not there. So I feel like that can come. Let me see. I feel like there's still something missing with our melodies. Let's see if we can add something. Okay, I think we can just leave our melodies like this. There you go. So now you can play everything together. Let's hear how it sounds. Okay, so I think that sounds a little bit okay for me. So then the other aspect when when creating melodies is that you want also to add just something that is, you want to add a bit of flavor to your song. So I feel like these chords we have to swap them instead. Instead, we have to change them. So we'll have to move them. So what you can do is you highlight everything and then you move them slightly, maybe in the middle. Let's hear how that will sound. Okay. Okay, now it doesn't sound okay. I thought I might move that. So ideally what I can do is just to create another thing. So what you do is you duplicate that again, you just clone it. Once you do that, you search for something that you want to use. So for me, I feel like a marimba can play nicely here. So let's search for a marimba. So I'm going to use marimba delay here. I just want the song to, to be bouncing a little bit. So there you go. So once I open this one, I think this is where now I can initiate that idea where I can just put the chords in the middle. Okay, there. And then just copy everything and then you move it further. So here, this is a volume button actually. So when you see me reduce here, it means I'm reducing the volume for this particular plugin. So even here, I was just reducing a little bit. So I think this melodies now are making a little bit of, they're making sense. So you see the layers. So we've created the keys. The first thing that we did when creating melodies is this. We created this and then we have this. So we have this. So this is basically our melody. And then we have everything together now. So I still feel like there's still something missing here on our melodies. Maybe we could add just one more thing, one last thing, and then we are good to go. So there's this plugin that I like in here. I call it Swoosh. It sounds really, really interesting. So Swoosh organ pad. So this is what it sounds like. Okay, so I think instead of using marimba here, we'll actually use the swoosh. So I'm going to cut this and paste it on our new plugin. Let's hear how that sounds. Okay, I think that sounds okay. Then we're going to go back to our marimba. We're just going to copy the same thing that is here. Copy and we'll paste it here. There you go. Let's play everything again. It sounds okay. However, melody, I still need to add something to the marimba keys. So what we're going to do is we'll open it solo alone and then we open it in piano roll. So I feel like we can add a little bit of just things to make it more interesting. So you have created something there. So now you can close it and play everything together to hear if it's making sense. So if you want, you can play only your melodies together. Let's hear how they sound. Okay, so this is actually quite something. You know, this is something very interesting. It's already making sense on its own without the chords. So let's see if it's in line with whatever I was composing. So I'm going to reduce the volume a little bit further and then I add my voice on it. Let's see. I think about you, I think about us, baby. I think about you, I think about us, baby. Ooh, ooh. So you see, you can even sing on the layer, like on your melodies only. But let's see if we add everything together. We add our chords there. Okay, that's great. So once you have your keyboard, the next thing that you want to add to your chords, just to make it now complete, in terms of the chords, you have to add your strings so that it sounds like a song. So you want to add your strings. So let's add our strings real quick. So I'm going to use hypersonic again. No, I just like hypersonic. I think it's much, it's got a variety of sounds. So we're going to pick our, we're just going to duplicate it. Then we'll pick our strings from here. So when you go at the bottom here, you check, you've got this section here that says strings. So you can pick any of the strings from here. So we've got soft legato strings. Let's hear how this sounds. Okay, it sounds a little bit okay. Let's just try them out. So what you can do, instead of you start writing the chords one by one, you can just simply copy them there and you paste them on your new plugin. And then let's hear everything. Let's hear how the chords only play before you play everything. So these are the strings. The sounds, I think they sound okay. So you can just play everything together. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, so this is basically how you create your chords. So the next part that we're going to learn now is creating your drum patterns. So this should be easier. So as you can see here, we've got different items. So we've got your 808 kick, 808 clap, 808 hi-hat, and the snare. I think we can use this. So these things also, the advantage of having FL20, it means you have these things on your software. Then the other thing that you can do, if you don't like the sounds that are here, you can just come to your plugin picker. You just click here. So once you click here, you come to packs. So here in packs, you have all these things that are there. So you have vocals, you've got shapes, SFX, risers, loops, legacy, instruments, flex, drums, and everything. So here you've got your drums. So if you want, you can come on legacy, you come to drums, you can pick the drum patterns that you want to use. Everything is there. Everything is there. Everything that you might think of. So you can actually pick it from there. But let's try to use what we already have here. If we won't like them, we're going to swap and pick from there. So let's close it for now so that we have enough working space. So let's play everything. So we'll be playing everything together and we'll be adding. So the first thing that you want to add is the snare, because I feel like this song is more of like an Afro kind of arrangement. So you start with the snare. So you start adding your snare there. So sometimes the melodies may actually confuse you, so I suggest that use the chords only to create your drum set. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the chords only, the snare only, and then also open the chords so that you don't mix them up. So So now you've added everything that you want on your snare. So the next thing is you want to add a clap. So you have to add a clap so that you have, like, you need to have, you add the clap strategically at a point where you feel like it should rest, like where the song almost rests, where the chord almost rests. So let's hear this. So I feel like here I should have a clap, I feel like here I should have a clap. Yeah, I think that sounds okay. So you add your clap everywhere where it's resting from. So I'll add a clap, I'll have a clap here and a clap there. Let's go. Okay, that sounds interesting. Then the next thing is I have to add a kick now. Let's hear the kick. I feel like the kick should be playing twice here. Yeah, so I want the kick to be playing with the clap at the same time there. So you drag it there. Should be. So make sure you save often. So to save, just press Control. So make sure you always save your work. Make sure you save whatever changes that you make sure you save. So the shortcut way to save is to press Control S or you can come to File and say Save. So always save your work so that you don't lose it. In case your PC goes off, you make sure that your work is saved so that even if the PC goes off, you can still come back to your project and finish it. So this is basically our chords. our drum pattern. So the drum pattern and the chord. Okay, so let's just play the drum pattern only. We just see what we've created. Okay, let's see if we can add a bit of hi-hats. So for our hi-hats, maybe we can add, so what you can do for these ones, you can go here and say few each steps. Let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, let me see, maybe we can add 4 steps. Maybe this sounds okay. So let's see. So now we can play everything together. So what you can do is you press on your right and then you say solo and then you go again on it and then everything will be highlighted, meaning everything is going to be playing. So let's hear how everything is going to play now. So there you go. You have something interesting there. Something interesting. So I think I might have touched to say we're going to think of how do we add a bass line. So for the bass line, we can actually add something. We've got plugins that are already in the software that you can use, or you can actually use plugins that are already in the external plugins. So right now I'm thinking of, wow, what can we use? Let's see. We can use internal plugins. Let's go to our bass line. So we've got our bass drum there. We've got our bull bass. Let's try to use our bull bass. Okay. So this is the bass that we have. That's how the bass sounds like. I think we can use this. Let's see if it matches with the song. So you open it in piano roll. So once it's open, so you're thinking of a song like you have your ghost channels to guide you. So I'm thinking of, okay, I think what can drive this song is so what you can do is once you do that, you can just copy everything and then you drag it, drop it there. So if you want it to sound a bit deeper, because right now it doesn't sound that okay, you can just drop it down. Okay, that's way too deep. So this is another way that you can actually do so. So I'm not really into this bass. It's not that nice. So what we can do is, okay, let's keep this one. So we can keep this one and then we can copy this one again. We can drag it and then we put just a straight bass other than this one. Let's try a different one. So I've turned that one off. Let's see if we can put a straight one. We just copy everything as it is. Just go like that and then we listen into that if it's making sense. Okay. Alright, I think I like this one. So this one sounds a bit okay. So let's even try to sing on it. Okay, let me try to mumble on it if I can put my song there. So you can actually, create something interesting like that, and then you love it. So this was the internal plugin bass that we used. And you can also pick something external. Let's see how external plugins sound. Maybe we can, so for the sake of comparing the two, we see which one is better. So you go right there, just go on plugin database, you go on VST, you open. So I'm going to use Purit, and I'll just drag it and drop it there. So for Purit, and it's got also a very interesting sound. So if you want this software, just get in touch with me. We can always upload it for you there if you really want to use it. Otherwise, I can also show you how to download some of these softwares. That's an advantage of being on this training. So you just go on here, presets, and then you go to your bass guitar. I feel like a bass guitar would sound okay, so I'm going to use this one, the SB Peak. I think it sounds better. Let's hear what it sounds like. Yes, that's the kind of sound I want. So we close it. So for the first part of the bars that we had, I'm going to copy this and paste it on our Purit, because this is the kind of bars I want. Let's just hear what that sounds like. Yeah. So I feel like this sounds way better than the bull bars that we used. So you can also duplicate this one, and then once you duplicate it, you just put a straight bar. So you just copy from these straight bars and then you put it there. Let's hear how this sounds. So let's hear how this one sounds on its own. Okay, I think this sounds okay. So let's try to play it with the drum pattern only, with the drum set only. Oh yeah, this is fire, guys. This is fire. So this is basically how you add your bars and everything. So I'm loving this. It's coming out really, really nice. I feel like someone can just jump onto this and, you know, just add a song. So thank you so much. So this is basically how you write your chords from the beginning. You do your chords, you do your tempo, you add your drum patterns, and there you have something that someone can actually love to want to jump on it. So this is basically the process, and in the next lesson we're going to learn now how to balance these sounds using the channel mixer. We're going to learn how to write the song, actually how to put it into parts basically, so that now you have your song. So we're going to learn how to write a song basically using the software, and also how to add you know, risers and everything, all those things we're going to learn. So thank you so much for being part of this interesting lesson. If you have any questions, feel free to contact any of the admins and we'll be able to attend to you. And if there's any topic that you want us to cover specifically, please get in touch with us so that we can actually organize that for you. Thank you so much. You have a blessed day. Bye for now.
kafele muva mwala vuniye seko akanikamba magani tema munga